Welcome to my channel Starwire Daily. Please share and subscribe and press the bell icon for new updates. October 1st, 2024. The lights dim at Paris Fashion Week. Cameras flash like lightning across the runway. And there, walking among the world's most coveted models for Miu Miu's Spring-Summer 2025 collection, is a 16-year-old girl who's been protected from this very moment her entire life. Her name? Sunday Rose Kidman Urban. But here's where this story gets absolutely fascinating. This wasn't just any teenage debut. This was the culmination of years of careful planning, strict rules, and what might just be the most protective parenting strategy Hollywood has ever seen. Welcome back to Starwire Daily, where we dive deep into the stories that matter in the world of celebrity culture. I'm your host, and today we're pulling back the curtain on one of Hollywood's most intriguing family dynamics. Because what Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban did to prepare their daughter for the spotlight isn't just smart parenting, it's revolutionary. You see, when you're the child of an Oscar-winning actress and a Grammy-winning country superstar, the world is watching your every move before you've even learned to walk. But Nicole and Keith, they had a different plan entirely. For years, Sunday Rose lived in what we could call a celebrity bubble, protected, private, almost invisible to the public eye. While other celebrity children were being photographed at red carpet events and posting on social media, Sunday Rose was, well, nobody really knew what she was doing. And that was exactly the point. But behind closed doors, something extraordinary was happening. Nicole and Keith weren't just raising a daughter. They were architecting a future. They were setting boundaries that would make industry veterans pause and think, why didn't we think of that? Then came August 6th, 2025. In a candid interview with Nylon magazine, Sunday, Rose finally spoke. And what she revealed about her parents' strategy will change how you think about celebrity parenting forever. There are two big rules, she said, and I can almost picture the interviewer leaning forward, knowing they were about to hear something significant. Because when a Kidman Urban speaks about family rules, you listen. Rule number 1. And this is where it gets interesting. I couldn't explore any kind of fashion work until I was 16. Now, think about this for a moment. In a world where celebrity children are often thrust into the spotlight before they can even spell their own names, Nicole and Keith drew a line in the sand. No fashion work, no modeling, no early exposure to an industry that can be as brutal as it is beautiful. But here's what makes this even more fascinating. They didn't just say no and leave it at that. They gave her target, 16, a specific age when she could make her own informed decisions about her future. And rule number 2, school always has to come first. Simple words, but revolutionary in practice. Because how many times have we seen young stars sacrifice their education for fame, only to struggle later when the spotlight fades? Sunday Rose herself admitted, which at first I hated, but I'm actually really glad that I have these rules in place, because it keeps me in a good mindset. There's something beautiful about hearing a 17-year-old acknowledge the wisdom in her parents' restrictions. But let's talk about what happened when she finally stepped onto that runway in Paris. Picture the scene. The most prestigious fashion week in the world, Miu Miu's highly anticipated show, and there's Sunday Rose, making her professional debut at exactly 16 years old. Not a day earlier, not a day later. The timing wasn't coincidental. This was precision parenting at its finest. Nicole and Keith had essentially created a controlled explosion, all that protected energy and anticipation finally being released at exactly the right moment. And here's where their strategy gets even more brilliant. By keeping Sunday Rose out of the public eye for so long, they created something that's incredibly rare in today's social media age, mystery. When she finally appeared on that runway, she wasn't just another celebrity kid trying to make in fashion. She was a fresh face with a story, backed by years of careful preparation. But there's something deeper happening here that most people are missing. Nicole Kidman knows this industry better than almost anyone. She's seen the dark side, the pressure, the way fame can consume young people before they've even figured out who they are. This isn't just protective parenting. This is strategic survival planning. Think about Keith's perspective too. Here's a man who's built his entire career on authenticity, on staying grounded despite massive success. His approach to raising Sunday Rose reflects those same values. It's not about keeping her away from success. It's about ensuring she's ready for it when it comes. That's why Sunday Rose has plans to further her education on top of pursuing a modeling career. Even now, at 17, with a successful debut under her belt and the fashion world taking notice, she's still following those rules. School comes first. Now, let's be real here. This approach isn't without its critics. Some might argue that by waiting until 16, Sunday Rose missed out on valuable early experience in the industry. Others might say that celebrity children should be free to explore their talents as early as possible. But here's the thing. Look at the results. Sunday Rose didn't just stumble onto that runway. She walked it with confidence, poise, and a maturity that's rare for someone her age. She even formed connections with established models like Cara Delevingne, describing how it was nice to get to know her as I've looked up to her for a long time. There's something profoundly moving about watching a young person step into their destiny on their own terms, with their own timeline, supported by parents who understood that protection and opportunity aren't mutually exclusive. But perhaps the most fascinating aspect of this entire story is what it reveals about Nicole and Keith as parents. In an industry where so many celebrity relationships crumble under pressure, where children often become pawns in public relations games, here's a couple that quietly, methodically built a framework for their daughter's success. They didn't parade her around at award shows for photo opportunities. They didn't leverage her potential for their own publicity. Instead, they gave her something more valuable: choice. The choice to enter the industry when she was ready, on her terms, with their support, but not their pressure. And isn't that what every parent wants? To give their children the tools they need to succeed, while protecting them from the dangers that success can bring? Nicole and Keith just happen to be doing it under the watchful eye of the entire world. Sunday Rose now models for Miu Miu and hangs with Cara Delevingne, as long as she finishes her homework first. There's something almost poetic about that balance. The glamour of high fashion mixed with the normalcy of homework deadlines. What Nicole and Keith have created isn't just a success story. It's a blueprint. A roadmap for how celebrity parents can navigate the treacherous waters of fame while keeping their children's best interests at heart. Because at the end of the day, Sunday Rose isn't just Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban's daughter who happened to become a model. She's a young woman who was given the space to discover her own talents, the time to develop her own voice, and the support to pursue her own dreams. And that, in a world where celebrity children are often defined by their parents' achievements before they've had a chance to create their own, is perhaps the greatest gift of all. The rules weren't restrictions, they were liberation. They weren't about saying no to opportunities. They were about saying yes to the right ones at the right time for the right reasons. So what do you think? Are Nicole and Keith setting a new standard for celebrity parenting? Should more famous parents adopt similar rules for their children? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If this story gave you a new perspective on celebrity culture and family dynamics, show some love by hitting that like button. And if you want to stay updated on the latest behind-the-scenes stories from Hollywood's most fascinating families, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell. Trust me, we've got some incredible stories coming your way that you won't want to miss. Until next time, this is StarWire Daily, reminding you that sometimes the most interesting celebrity stories aren't about the drama. They're about the love, strategy, and wisdom that happens away from the cameras. We'll see you in